took on a small project on the coast of Guatemala 7 years ago. And they have stayed with it day after day and week after week, and difficult month after difficult application process. And Rotary has made this possible. God bless Rotary International. Now the third question, how did this get from there to here, or here to there, is Curt Bowen, whom we get to introduce. Now, how did Curt Bowen take this small organization from there to here to where it is today? I take you back to Whitman College, where he studied philosophy. I'm going to make the case that philosophy, the study of knowledge, of wisdom, is what took Curt Bowen and Semilla and Nueva from there to here. At Whitman, Curt learned to think, to explore, to know what he knew and to know what he didn't know, and to go look after what he didn't know. And he learned how to work backwards from what's important. I say that Curt used his mind, he used his heart, and he used his hands. To learn, if you can understand Nietzsche and Hegel and Heidegger, you might be able to understand malnutrition in Guatemala. Curt learned to think. He learned to think critically. He learned to think broadly. And he applied that capacity to think and reason all the way through from the beginning to the end. The second thing Curt learned is heart. Philosophy is next to theology and next to cosmology. And Curt connects his heart and his mind. I've known Curt for 6 years now. We talk about things or email about things that really no one else cares a lot about. But we're talking about spiritual people and spiritual thoughts and spiritual motivations and what drives the human heart. Curt is in that stream. So when Curt is, instead of doing something else, every year planting corn on his hands and knees in Guatemala, it's because of heart. He has developed a philosophy and a capacity which is not about doing something for someone else, but serving with them, step by step with them. That's a difference. That's a spiritual difference. Third thing I say is Curt has worked with his hands, and I mean hands in the largest sense. He reaches out to other people with hands. He forms partnerships of people with hands. And he brings people together with hands on his staff. This is an organization which has moved from very small to very large, which is making a very bold bet on the future, very difficult, bold bet on the future. And he has done it in a way that the world has recognized. And let's just say a little bit about that. He was declared one of the Forbes magazine 30 under 30. 30 under 30 social entrepreneurs around the whole world. He was honored by the Muhammad Ali Foundation for a humanitarian effort, Boise, Idaho. And he's just received in the last 6 months honor of the organization which recognizes social entrepreneurs around the world. It is the organization, it's called the Milagro Foundation. Curt was recognized and is being assisted by the Milagro Foundation. Extraordinary young man. And I will get to talk, he will actually get to speak. I'll stop. But The last thing to be said about this is that what Curt has done is to bring a group of people together that build with the people of Guatemala, mostly, and people from all around the world who care about poor people working in these worlds. So it's become not a Curt-led organization, but a human partnership of organizations. So that's how we got from there to here. Let's finally close with a word about liberal education. You studied philosophy. You say, oh, really? Philosophy? Yes, philosophy. Ability to think. The ability to work your way through a problem from here to there, to work, to know what you don't know, to be humble in knowledge, and to move forward. Secondly, to have the heart to care about the people who most need to be cared about. And third, to join hands with other people to make a great thing happen and to take a bold bet on the future. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce Curt Bowen, and before we do that, to hear a 90-second video about the work which is going on in Guatemala. Cue video.
One of the biggest issues facing the developing world is chronic malnutrition. According to UNICEF, chronic malnutrition affects over half the population in Guatemala, home to more than 17 million people, making Guatemala the 5th most malnourished country in the world. At Semilla Nueva, we're fighting malnutrition with better corn. Fortaleza is our seed brand and means strength in Spanish. Fortaleza is about making families and communities stronger. We bring seeds from some of the world's best scientists who've bred together the most nutritious corn seeds found in nature with the seeds that provide farmers the yields they need for their livelihoods. Semilla Nueva was founded on a question. Why do most international charity projects fail? The answer: they try to get people to do things that are good for them, but that they don't necessarily want to do. At Semilla Nueva, we don't work to change culture, but to embrace it, to build on it. We're selling a seed that gives farmers what they want, high yields and low costs, and we're getting kids what they need, more protein and zinc, to grow big, strong, and healthy. At Semilla Nueva, we strive to make more nutritious seed the norm for all, changing diets around the world.